want to read you Psalm 123, which is a very short psalm, and it's another one of those songs of ascents. It's a song for pilgrims to sing as they were making their way to Jerusalem. So I'm going to split it into two halves, and I'll read you half first, then we'll talk a bit, then I'll read you the second half. We'll talk a bit more, and then that's it. So Psalm 123. I lift my eyes to you, O God, enthroned in heaven. We keep looking to the Lord our God for his mercy, just as servants keep their eyes on their master, as a slave girl watches her mistress for the slightest signal. And I think that's really the key these days. We're locked in, we're locked in our homes, and we don't have the same kind of freedom. But what we can do is we can look to God. We can look to Jesus. And the way I look at it, there's sort of three possibilities. You can look down, you kind of like into yourself. And when you do that, then you sort of start dwelling what I can't do, what I'm not, you start to get a bit depressed. I have to admit, at times when I've made that mistake, I've got a bit low, and I'm not normally that kind of a person. Or you can look around you. You can look around at what's going on. You can look around at the suffering that there is and the problems that there are. And again, you can get overwhelmed by that. Or, as it says here, I can lift my eyes to you, O God, enthroned in heaven. Keep looking to God, just as the servants keep their eyes on their master, because looking in yourself or down, it's never going to get us out of this problem, and it's always going to do damage to us. Looking around, again, is going to overwhelm us, it's going to get us down. But if we look up to Jesus, then he will encourage us and he will show us the way. Picking up at verse 3, have mercy on us, Lord, have mercy, for we have had our fill of contempt. We have had more than our fill of the scoffing of the proud and the contempt of the arrogant. And I thought that part of the psalm, that's the end of it, but we've had enough of arrogance. We've had enough of contempt. You see, I just look around and I hear the mainstream media and I read things in the papers, and all we see is contempt. All we see is what the government should have done this, the government should have done that, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. The mainstream media commentators and journalists are asking the same question every day. You ever watch those? And our government is trying, I believe our government is really trying to find a way through this. And we look at every country, they're all struggling. None of them have enough equipment. I've had enough of the mainstream media. And again, there are a lot of people brought on who have political axes to grind, and I don't think that helps us at this time. And I look at the way so many people are helping in the front line, the NHS, and many other people, all the good things that are happening. I do believe that actually there is a certain amount of spiritual awakening in this land in the days that we're living in. I can see people who are doing all kinds of things for others. And I can see that the subject of prayer has come up an awful lot more in these days in which we're living. Very, very strange days. And yet the arrogant try and pull things down. I'm not impressed with some members of the opposition parties. I don't think they're helping sometimes. I just want us to be reminded of what it says in 1 Timothy 2. It says, I urge then, first of all, that petitions, prayers, intercession and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. So really, there are just two things I think to bring out of what we are looking at today. Number one, look up, look to Jesus. for your answers. Don't look to the media. Don't look to the commentators. Don't look at the suffering around us. Look up to Jesus. And secondly, let's not dwell on the contempt and the sneering that is coming from certain areas. Let's support the government in what they're trying to do. We're without a prime minister. Let's continue to pray for Boris Johnson. And let's just pray through these situations, because God has the answer and he will look after his people. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bless you, and look to Jesus. Amen.